Hello everyone, Jeff and Jay here with another edition of Jay's Big Adventure. Jay's the fuzzy one. And even though it was 43 degrees this morning at the end of June in Salt Lake City, Utah, today we are going to talk about how to stay cool in warm weather riding. For most of us, we go through a series of jackets and layers throughout the course of the year. First thing I did when I wanted to try to stay cool is to get a mesh jacket. And I don't know whether you can see this, but you can see through the jacket. It is that clear. There's very, very little material in here. It still gives you all the protection that you need. And zipped up, it also isn't going to flap. I don't want something that's too loose because that'll make it flap in the wind. Just makes it uncomfortable on a long ride. This is a pretty good solution. It's not that expensive, it's very lightweight, and it works pretty well. In spite of that jacket being pretty lightweight and being pretty good in terms of airflow, it still wasn't light enough. It still gets to over 100 degrees here in Salt Lake City, 105, 109 in the summer, and I do ride to Las Vegas, so I wanted something that was even cooler. The next step is this jacket from Perini, and it is the absolute minimum that is necessary to ride. This is basically just the CE5 protection with nothing else. So now when I zip this up, I've got elbow, forearm, shoulders, chest, back, and then this is a strap for Velcro here. And now this is really, really light. There's almost no material here. This is designed for a slide, so if I do fall down, it's not going to rip. But this is the minimum level of protection that you can wear and try to keep cool. This still was not enough. The next step was to go to evaporative cooling. In any dry state, and this is the whole southwest of the United States, if the humidity is low, if you get wet, obviously that really helps with your cooling. It does not help in humid climates, but for half the country, that makes a difference. This is a Techniche International Hypercool vest. And this looks like it's quilted, and it is. And you soak this in water for half an hour, and the fibers inside absorb water, and it is like a personal swamp cooler for your motorcycle. And with this thing in place, you want it fairly tight because you want it against your body. Now when the airflow flows through this, the water evaporates, it cools you down, and it is significant. I can be riding on a 95-degree day, get off the bike, and my chest and back is cool to the touch. It's significantly cooler than outside air temperature, so it really works too well. Because it is such a dry climate, the evaporative cooling is so aggressive, it keeps you really cool, but it doesn't last very long. So the trick was, how do I re-wet this vest while I'm riding? Let me show you what I've come up with. So what I've done is I've cobbled together this mess. This is a drinking pack that you use for hiking, and it's got a bunch of pockets in it. And what I've done is I connected the water outlet to this tube, and this actually fits around my neck and lets me direct the water onto the top of the vest. Once that is done, now when I need water, I can get it from that. The problem is, it's on my back, so I don't have any way of squeezing the bag to deliver the water. So I came up with a unique solution. So the next step was to power the water delivery. So I love a solution that doesn't require a lot of money, and this is just a 12-volt windshield washer pump that I actually had lying around the house. This is the liner to the backpack. It slides in, you feel the water in here. I actually fill it with ice and water because that lasts longer. And then this just connects right to the port. This is a 12-volt washer pump. Here is my outlet to the water delivery. And now I've got a cord that I plug into the bike. Let me show you how I did that. So for starters, we're just going to fill this with ice. Just going to keep packing it in here. I would normally keep going until that was full. Now we're just going to fill it with water. Screw the lid on, and that part's done. The whole mess just slides in. And now, ready to put it on and give it a try. What I've done is I've mounted a switch in this trim piece on the side of the motorcycle. This plug is the power plug, and I use my heated jacket or charging port that's tied directly to the battery. So during the winter, this hangs outside and I use that to run my heated jacket. During the summer, it connects here to run the switch. The switch lights up when it's on, and you can hear the pump works. So when I'm riding, I just reach down and flip the switch whenever I need water. Now let's see if it works. So now with the backpack on, I've got the delivery tube right here so that it will drip down onto my chest. I'm going to plug the power in. It's up in the air here. Normally this would be under my jacket. And turn the switch. It works great. It's making a huge mess. Yep, it does indeed work. And okay, so I'm going to go in and dry off and put on some dry pants and underwear. It's 43 degrees here. This is not enjoyable at this temperature, but it works really well. When you have the evaporative cooling vest on and you start with that wet and soak, you need to let it soak for 5 or 10 minutes to let the fibers fully expand. And then you do an outer jacket over it, it traps the water, and any water that doesn't flow down past you directly gets absorbed by the vest and keeps it from drying out. Here in Utah, our humidity levels are typically in the single digits or 10-15% during the summer, so it works really, really well. Even with that level of evaporative cooling, I can typically go 2 hours with the system. Now, I don't leave the pump on, I just turn it on and off to re-wet the vest as needed. But now I'm going 2 hours at a time. I can go long enough. I need to stop for gas or a restroom break or what have you. I'll go into a gas station, and a lot of times they'll let you fill up with ice for nothing or $1 or something minimal. Fill it with cold water, and back on the road you go. Works great. Give it a try. And the best part about this is it didn't cost me anything except for literally a couple of dollars for the tubing, and these are just nozzles from the irrigation section for doing drip lines and that sort of thing at the hardware store. Really cheap, really effective, and give it a whirl. See what you think. If you have a suggestion for a segment, leave in the comments. Of course, like, subscribe, and share, but leave a comment if you've got an idea. The next segment that we may do might be on that very topic.